Hey Soul Tribe family, this is Dr. Young back again with another video. So I'm going to do a video on money management, but I know a lot of people are going to say, where do I begin? Well, I'm glad you asked that question because I'm going to tell you. Whenever you begin anything, you must begin at start. So we're going to talk about some steps that's dealing with restoration to be debt free. So the first thing you must do is make a decision. Your decision point is your starting point. The next thing you have to do is that you have to have determination. You have to back your decision with determination. So consider the following things when you are determined to be debt free. You must consider closing or cutting up credit cards. Do not create any additional debt or credit. Avoid frequent trips to the shopping malls. Get involved with God's plan for your finances. Is this making sense to anybody? Feed your spirit with videos or financial prosperity messages. Make confessions at least 3 times per day and take a godly finance class. Everybody understand it? The first decision is to make a decision. The second one is determination. And the third is discipline. Make a decision to be determined, to remain constant. For example, plan major shopping trips. Don't just do it haphazardly. Make cash purchases. If you must use credit, choose American Express. For example, to avoid excessive spending, implement a spending plan. And I'm going to go over a spending plan with you all later. So we talked about decision, we talked about determination, and we talked about discipline. Now we're going to do a self-inventory. So I want you all to be interactive with me. I need you to type in the comments. What is robbing your finances? What are you willing to give up? What behaviors are you willing to change? And what areas of spending can you eliminate or reduce? What tool or system do you use to account for money? And will you please God or man? So, let me just give you a few essential ingredients before we go into money management. And then we'll do a little motivation. So there are several essential ingredients that must accompany your quality decision to be debt-free forever. These ingredients will activate the manifestation of financial increase, financial restoration, and financial freedom. And fourth, wealth. Essential is defined as a necessary and fundamental part of something. An ingredient is something added or required to receive what is expected. So if you're cooking a cake, some of the ingredients that go in the cake is flour, eggs. Depending on what kind of cake, you could use flavoring. You could use sugar. It just depends. You could use cream cheese. That's an ingredient that you need to get that required result. And so again, an ingredient is something added or required to receive what is expected. So if you are expecting to be debt free and acquire wealth, the essential ingredients listed below must be included in your action plan. Study and apply these ingredients to your life and expect for increase to manifest. And remember, this is not an all-inclusive list. Some people may have another idea how you might want to do this, but let me give you a little motivation before I get into money management. Again, before starting anything, you must be motivated to do it. So if you're not ready, don't do it. If you're not motivated to become debt free, then this might not be the time for you. So you might want to put this on a back burner and pick this video up later. To motivate means to stimulate to action, and it usually involves an incentive. An incentive provokes and urges you to get moving. That's just like when you're working out. Your incentive may be to look better in your clothes, or to getting some clothes that you've gotten too large for. That may be an incentive when you're working out. So when you're working on motivation to become debt free, you have to give yourself some incentives. An incentive provokes and urges you to get moving. An incentive also stirs, like we talked about the ingredient in the cake, one to action. So what will it take for you to get motivated? Burdensome debt, pass due bills on a regular basis, creditors harassing you on the job, screening your telephone calls to avoid bill collectors, an unfavorable credit report. If you're having some problems getting motivated, elevate your activities, your conversations, and the people you associate with on a regular basis, because that could cause you a problem. These elevations will help you to identify motivation robbers. And you know, we do have a lot of robbers out here in different areas of your life. But we're talking about money today. So I'm getting ready to go on the presentation called Mastering Money Management. Build, protect, and grow your wealth. So what are we going to do? Number one, we're going to build. Number two, we're going to grow. And number three, we're going to protect. Or you can say it whichever way that works better for you. You can say grow, protect, build, protect, grow your wealth. It's whichever way fits you and motivates you to complete this process. So opening and engagement. So I need you all to get on board with me. Most people don't have money problems. Would you agree with me or disagree? Most people don't have money problems. They have a money management problem. How many of you agree? If you agree with that, put a dollar sign in the comment. So I want to ask the audience today, and you all are my audience, the viewers, the subscribers, the onlookers, as well as the haters, as well as my fans. How many of you feel like money disappears too fast? Raise your hand. If you got if you got an extra $1,000 today, tell me what you would do with it. Would you save it? Would you spend it? Or would you invest it? Again, tell me what you would do. So I need you to type in a comment. Save, spend, invest. Which one would you do? So our objective in this lesson today is, today you'll learn how to control your money instead of money controlling you. Again, Today, you will learn how to control your money instead of money controlling you. So here's the foundation that I want you to get. I want you to get the understanding money mindset. You have to have a money mindset to do this. If you have a poverty mindset, or if you have a spend mindset, you can go ahead and cut this video off. It's not for you. But if you want to listen, you can, but I don't think it would help you. These are people that have money mindsets that's going to work this plan and plan to work. So I'm going to go over 3 key points. And if you're agreeing with me and this video sounds like something that may interest you, please don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and like the video. And you can type a $ in the comment. So, number 1 of our 3 key points, your habits determine your financial future. Okay? Your habits determine your financial future. Emotional spending versus intentional spending. And third, the difference between being rich and being wealthy. So your habits determine your financial future. Let's say you got that extra $1,000 or got extra $500. Every time you get some extra money, you believe that you have to spend it. Is that a good mindset? Is that a good money mindset? Or is that a poverty mindset? Your habits determine your financial future. If you have a mentality that I need to put something away for a rainy day, this video is probably going to be for you. If you have the mindset that I need to save for something big, this video is probably for you as well. Emotional spending versus intentional spending. So what is emotional spending? You cook dinner at home, but because you passed by Church's Chicken or Popeyes and they had that special, you went over there and you bought it because emotionally that sign, it just jumped out at you and said, come and buy me today. Even though you cooked at home, even though you had a full meal at home, you went to get that chicken. Or every time you pass by the shopping mall, you have to pull over there and say you're going to buy, but know that you're going to probably pull out a credit card and spend some money that you don't have. That is emotional spending. Also, emotional spending is versus intentional spending. Emotional spending, let's say you've picked out all of your outfits for the week. You have your shoes, you have your outfits, you have your blouses. But you just decide, I'm going to the mall anyway and get me some new suits. Why? You have the ones you picked out. You've decided that those are the ones you're going to wear. Why emotionally go and spend money and you already have laid these suits out for this week? Intentional spending is, let's say you have your suits laid out, you have your pants laid out, but you don't have your accessories. And you already knew that because you only laid out the suits and the shoes and the blouse. So you knew that you needed some new accessories to go with the outfits, and you knew you needed that. And so you decide that I'm going on a shopping trip Sunday before the week begins to get accessories. That's intentional spending. You planned it. You knew it would happen. And you implemented it. Okay? So remember, emotional spending versus intentional spending. The difference between being rich and being wealthy Being rich is having a lot of money and a lot of bills. But being wealthy is a mindset. Okay? So I'm going to go into that a little bit more. Rich equals high income as well as high expenses. You have a $750,000 home, or you have a $950,000 home, just short of or you have a $500,000 home. But every expense that goes with that home is going to be higher than a normal home. So if you're rich, most time you're going to have high expenses, high income. You're going to buy the best cars. You're going to send your kids to the best private school. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just giving an example of rich equals high income, high expenses. At Christmas time, you're going to give the more expensive gifts because you're having this lavish party. Everybody's coming over and you want to impress. So if you're rich, that's what rich people do. Some of them, not all. Wealthy is assets, stability, and freedom. So if you wake up in the morning and you're like, I need to own some more homes. I need to own an apartment building. I need to own a commercial building, a commercial mall. You pretty much probably have a wealthy mentality and you believe in stability. Just because things get hard, you don't run for the hills. Just because one investment messed up, you probably have 2 or 3 more. If you have a wealthy mindset, you probably have 2 or 3 streams of income if you have a healthy mindset. And then freedom. The wealthier you are, the more freedom you will have. Okay? So I want to ask a question. What did you learn about money growing up? Was it every time I get some money, spend? Or was it every time you get money, save? When you were little, your spending habits were engulfed in you at that time. Let me remind you how. If you got a lot of piggy banks or you got a lot of things dealing with money or cash registers, those are the kind of things I played with as a kid. Whenever my uncles would give me money, I go put it in my bank. Whenever anybody give me change, I go put it in my bank. My mother was grooming me to be a saver at that time. She was grooming me to be wealthy. Then from there, tracking money. So as a child, I learned that you're going to need to save some money. Some days I would bust my piggy banks and use it, but it had to be something really something that I needed. One day I remember I wanted to open a lemonade stand. And I think I was 8, 9, 10 years old. And my mother said, I'm not going to fund your investment. I said, no problem. I have 3 piggy banks. I will burst one of them and start my lemonade stand. All I needed was the lemonade mix, cups, sugar, and ice. And I put a price on it, and I had a stand, and I sold lemonade. That was my mindset as a young child. Okay? So I need to know, what did you learn about money growing up? Was it every time I got a quarter, I'm going to the candy lady? You know, whatever your example is, put it in the comments for me. Or yours may have been my mother started me a checking account when I was 3 years old. Whatever your story is, please leave it. Early on in life, I didn't put money in the bank. I put it in my piggy bank. So you have to tell your money what you want it to do. So tell your money where you want it to go. And I can hear somebody saying, what do you mean, Dr. Young? What do you mean tell your money where you want it to go? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to introduce to you the 50-30-20 rule. Now, no, this is not the 80-20 rule where you had the 80% woman that pretty much could do everything, and you traded her in for a 20% woman. I could make an analogy. You had a star seed and you traded her in for a karmic. That's the 80-20 rule. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that rule. We're talking about finances. So we're talking about wealthy and rich. So we're talking about the 50-30-20 rule, and that adds up to 100%. Put me 100% or 100 sign in the comments if you're with me. So 50% is your needs. So I know you want to know what your needs are. I'm gonna share it with you. Your rent, your bills, and your grocery. This is how you start your budget. And you can call this budget 101. So 50% are your needs. Rent, bills, groceries. 30%, and I'm talking about of your income, are your wants, your entertainment, your dining. And 20% is your savings and your debt payoff. So 50%, let's say you're making $2,000 a month. Now remember, total 50% needs to be your rent, your bills, and your grocery. So if you make $2,000 a month, your bills are, you would be best to strive for your bills to be no higher than $1,000. That includes rent, your other bills, and your groceries. I know somebody saying that's unrealistic. I'm teaching you how to shoot for a budget. So that means either if your budget is higher than that, then you have to find ways to supplement your income to make this bracket work. 30% is entertainment. Your entertainment, your dinner, your going out, your whining and your dining, that type of thing. Okay? And 20% is your savings, your debt payoff. So I'm going to go into some examples, but I want to go over this again. Again, 50% are your needs. These are things that you need to survive with. You need a place to stay. You need your bills paid. You need the utility bill paid, the water bill, if it comes like that for you, gas. And you need to be able to put some groceries in your house. And those are some things that you do first before you do anything else. Okay? And those bills could be your credit card, your utility bills like gas, whatever your bills are, that's bills, and then groceries. 50% of your income. So it needs to be, if you make $2,000 a month, it needs to be $1,000 a month. 30% are your wants, your entertainment, and your dining. And 20% is savings plus debt payoff. So you're going to save some and you're going to pay off some debt. So I'm going to tell you how in a second. Stay patient. Stay with me. I'm going to get you there. So a budget is not a restriction. I don't want you all to think, oh, she's restricting me. No, 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 no. A budget is not a restriction. It's a plan for freedom. How many of you like to be free? You can probably say that, ain't nobody going to, put you in a bucket or whatever. Well, then you like freedom, and this plan might be for you. So you're going to track every dollar for 30 days. Every dollar that you spend. Every dollar that comes in. Every dollar that goes out for bills. You're going to track it for 30 days. So you're either going to write it in a ledger or either you're going to make your spreadsheet. But you're going to track every penny. And then you can use some apps or simple spreadsheets to help you with that. And then you're going to adjust based on real life, because sometimes things are going to come up. Car, maintenance, different things like that are going to come up. And so they fall under bills. Or you can change your 30%, make it 20 for your wants, entertainment, and dining, and do your 10% for maintenance and cars, and you just save it every month. You can work your budget. Remember, I told you can kind of change it to fit your life, okay? So again, the key message, the key takeaway that I want you to take away from this, a budget is not restriction. It's a plan for freedom. So track every dollar for 30 days. Use apps or a simple spreadsheet and adjust based on real life. So what I want you to do now, if you're following along with me and you have a piece of paper, I want you to estimate your monthly spending categories. And you can kind of make your categories however, but it needs to equal 100%. But remember, 50% goes to your bills, your groceries, and your rent or mortgage, whichever one you may have. Okay? Before you start any budgeting plan, you have to budget something in to pay yourself for first. So you're the new money manager, and you have to pay yourself for managing this. Remember, you're going to track money for 30 days, everything that goes in, everything that goes out. You're going to be using a spreadsheet. So you're working like real life. Okay? So your core concept is save before you spend, not what's left after. That's not how you do that, okay? And I'm gonna do another video, a money management video based on a Christian perspective also later. Save before you spend, not what's left after. So let's talk about an emergency fund. Can anybody tell me how much money or how many months should be of savings should be in your emergency fund? You should have 3 to 6 months of expenses. That's everything that we talked about, or you can do it based off your needs. Remember, I told you you can change this to your life, make it apply to real life, okay? 3 to 6 months of expenses. So if your rent and your bills was the $1,000 that I talked about, in 3 months, your emergency fund should have $3,000 in it. In 6 months, it should have $6,000 in it. Short-term versus long-term spending. So short-term is, let's say, I want this leather coat. It costs $600. So in 6 months, I'm going to save $100 every month to get that jacket. That's your short-term saving. Long-term savings, let's just say you feel like your car is only going to make it about 3 more months. So 3 more years, excuse me. And so you say every month, I'm going to save $100. In 1 year, that's $1,200. In 2 years, it's $2,400. And in 3 is $3,600. That is enough either to buy your car that you might have to do some fixing, but you will not have a car note. Therefore, you have more money to save. Or you can pay down on a car to make your note lower so it's affordable that it can fit in those needs. Remember, the rent, the bills, and the grocery, okay? So that's the emergency fund. So I want you to start small with your emergency fund. I gave you a big example, but let's start small. You can either start with $25, $50, or $100 per paycheck. Okay? So let's say you start 25. In 1 month, you should have $50 saved that goes only to your emergency fund. That is a fund you do not touch. You put that fund away somewhere and you do not touch that money, only for some type of major emergency. Okay? If you do $50 a month, in 1 month, you should have $100. And again, you put that away. You do not put this in your checking account where you handle all your monthly expenses. What do you handle? Okay, so remember, paying yourself first. And remember, we're talking about the emergency fund. So even savings, $100 a month equals $1,200 a year. And remember, you need to get up to 3 to 6 months of your rent, bills, grocery money. Okay, saved. That's called your emergency fund. If you suddenly the job lay you off, you have an emergency fund, okay? Breaking free. Not all debt is equal. There is good debt and there is bad debt, okay? If you're with me, put a $sign in the comments. So high interest debt is the biggest threat, okay? So if you have a credit card that's 29%, you need to be looking for a credit card that's way lower than that, like half of that. And if your credit won't allow it, then it's time to start paying that credit card off to build your credit, okay? So here are some methods to get your debt down. We call debt snowball method. That's smallest to largest, and we call debt avalanche. That's largest to smallest. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a little credit card that has a $500 limit. Then you have another one where you spend $500. So again, we're talking about the snowball method, and we're talking about the debt avalanche method. So you had this small credit card that was $200 or $500. We'll stay with $500. And the first thing in the snowball method, you go from smallest to largest. So immediately you start paying off that smallest credit card. And let's say you were paying it off at $75 a month. And in 5-6 months, you paid it off. Okay, great job. Don't take this. Okay, so on that method, when we use the $75 that we paid off the $500 credit card, now we're going toward the $1,000 credit card or the $1,500, whichever one you have. Whatever that normal payment was, which probably pretty much was around, $52 or something. You're going to now add the 75 to the 52, and you're going to begin to make a $125 payment, which is going to bring the interest down quicker than just paying the 52. And so once you pay off the $1,500, then you go to the $3,000 credit card. That is called the snowball effect. Now, the debt avalanche is, let's say you had a $7,000 debt, and you wanted to start that way first. And you wanted to tackle the $7,000 first. Then you wanted to tackle the $4,500 debt. And then you wanted to tackle the $2,500 debt. You're doing it the opposite way. You're going to take the largest debt that can be paid down in a certain amount of time, and you're going to pay that down. Then you're going to go to the next one, and then you're going to go to the next one, okay? So the debt steals your future income. If you have a lot of debt, so again, debt steals your future income. Avoid lifestyle inflation when income increases. And what that means, just because your income increased, that doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a new car, new house, new clothes, new this, new that, okay? So investing, let's talk about making money work for you. You will never build wealth from savings alone. Okay, so you're going to have to get some investments that deal with compound interest, and that can help. Also, additional streams of income. Money earns money, and that money earns more money. So what I'm talking about, something that compounds interest, is 401ks, IRAs, stocks, index funds. These are some basic options that you can begin to invest in. Some of you are going to say, well, I'm on a job. They don't offer 401k. We don't have an investment plan. You can do that on your own. You can purchase those on your own. You don't need companies to have it. It's good to have a company's 401k because there will be a match. So when you're investing, let's say you're investing $200 a month at an 8% return. Over 20 years, that's $100K. That's $100,000, okay? So start early and start big. That is the key. So let's say you're 22 and you're saying, I don't need to start doing it. Yes, you do. You need to start. Okay, so we're continuing on. So remember, start big and start early. So let's take control and we're getting ready to close this out. So we want you to budget your money. So we're going to budget our money, and how we're going to do that, we're going to save consistently. We're going to eliminate debt, and we're going to invest for the future. So save consistently. Remember, I talked about the plan that you're going to save. When you start young, start big. You're going to save $200 a month, time compounded interest at 8% over 20 years, and that's going to be $100,000 in 20 years that you will have saved. But you have to be consistent. You can't miss a month. So if you can't miss a month, that means sometimes you're going to have to deal with some things you probably don't want to deal with to keep your money flow coming. Okay? Eliminate debt. I went over that. I told you how to start with the avalanche method, meaning start from the largest down, and I taught you how to do the snowball method, where you start with that $200 credit card, that $500 credit card, that $1,000 or that $1,500 credit card, and each time you pay one off, you use that money plus the minimum payment that you were paying on the others, and you keep going and you keep going and you keep going until you get to the next one and the next one. And that is how you're going to begin to eliminate debt. You have to stay consistent. I think I need to go over this part again. So let's say you have a $200 credit card. I'll make it real simple. And a $500 and a $750. The $200 minimum payment is $30 a month, and you're paying minimum. It might take you 6 months to pay that off or more. But you're going to pay it consistent. You're not going to miss a payment. If you have $5 extra, $2 extra, $4 extra, pay it. I don't care if you have 60 cents extra, pay it. It brings your interest down. So then once you pay that $200 credit card off, you're going to go to the $500 credit card. You were paying $30 a month on the $200. On the $500 a month, you were already paying $40. So you're going to make $70 payments to that credit card to try to get rid of that payment within 10 months. Okay? Then you're going to go to the $750. So remember, you paid off the $200 credit card, and that freed you up $30. You paid off the $500 credit card. That freed you up $40. So that's $70. And then you have the $750, which you was paying a minimum of about $75. So you have $70 plus $75 that you can pay on that $750 credit card, and try to alleviate that debt in 7.5 months, no longer than 8. And that's how you begin to build wealth. You're not giving all of your extra money to interest. You're giving it to yourself in your savings plan, or in your emergency plan, or in your debt relief plan. Okay? So I want you all to remember a power statement. So you can write this statement on your bathroom. You can type it. You can pin it. You can hang it somewhere. You can put it in your planner that you open every day and you read it. But it needs to be somewhere where you can see it daily. On your vision board, whatever it is you're working on, in your book that you keep your notes in. Financial freedom isn't about how much you make. And the reason I have to say this, because somebody's going to say, oh, I don't make that much, so I can't save any money. That's not true. Remember, I gave you a plan to start small with the $25 per pay period. You have to start somewhere. Financial freedom isn't about how much you make. It's about how well you manage what you have. I need somebody to say that with me. Financial freedom isn't about how much money you make. It's about how well you manage the money that you have or make. Okay? So the next thing, I'm going to call you to action today. And your call to action is Starting today, make one change. That one change could be, I'm going to give some people some example. I'm not going to charge anymore. I'm just going to work on paying them off. If I do decide to go buy something, I'm not going to put it on a credit card. I'm going to buy it cash. But I'm still going to make my monthly payments on my credit cards the way that I've set the plan up. Start today. Make one change. Track your spending, start saving, or pay down one debt at a time. So I want to leave you with this question. What will you do differently with your money starting today? And if you're going to try this, now you may not succeed the first time, the second time, or the third time, but don't give up, don't quit. Try again. So I need you to type in my comments what you're going to do different starting today. Some of you could say, I'm going to work on my mindset. I'm going to work on saving $25 a pay period. Whatever it is you're going to start doing, start today. And if this video has helped you, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.